What's up guys, Pidget here. The Crucible League announced, and what other build would be good to start with it than my favorite build, called that Occultist. I'm league started with this in the last 4 league, so I can safely say this is the best starter, and this time even got more powerful with the new skill cluster. Let's see what things we got on the damage side. All skill choices almost all called that skill: Vortex, Creeping Frost and Cold Snap. Vortex is an icy blast that explodes around you, dealing cold damage to enemies and leaving behind a vortex which deals cold damage over time. Creeping Frost, you fire an icy projectile that bursts on impact and start dealing cold damage over time in the area. Cold Snap, you create a cold damage over time zone in a targeted area, and this zone will be expand itself. We will also use the WoW version of this skill for even more damage and speed up or clears in maps. The build will use 3 curses to boost our damage even further, namely Frostbite to lower the enemy cold resistance, Elemental Weakness to reduce this even further, and Punishment. If you not use Punishment curse before, this curse will start working when the enemy reaching low life, 50% health, and it will boost our damage to the moon. All of these curses we will applying with one single button, Arcanist Brand. Most of our damage is coming from the gem levels and the passive tree. On the defensive side, using Grace Aura for evasion rating, so we almost can die through the monster's basic attacks or projectiles. Because we using Grace, we can use Ghost Dance Keystone. When we take a hit, we will recover 3% of our evasion rating as energy shield. We can do this 3 times in a row before the stacks recharge. Determination for the physical damage reduction. In Crucible, they nerfed the Molten Shell, so we need to say goodbye to this skill, because now to benefit from this guard skill like before the patch, you need double amount of armor in your build, which is almost impossible for an Occultist, so from now we will use Immortal Core for our guard skill with cost when damage taken. Now we almost can be touched by physical attacks. Only danger left for us is the spell damage, but we have a solution for this, using spell suppression on gear and passive tree, which is preventing half of the spell damage when we take spell damage. Chill and freeze immune thanks to our Ascendancy. I'm really like to not rely on the flask uptime with chill and freeze immunity. And my favorite is we have stun immunity, because the Ascendancy has built-in immunity if you have energy shield, which we will always have. I would like if you hit the like button like the Shaper hitting the Elder, so it can start spread to more people. Thank you! Because it's league start, we can't have big items in the first day of the league. That's why we have very basic items in the list here. Only one item worth to mention. Not needed, but it's good to have. Rimegaze Unique Helmet. This is very cheap in the first day of the league, and it gives us a huge damage boost and a little bit of survivability. You can get this item for 4 or 5 chaos in the first day easily. After that, this is even cheaper. The other very surprising thing, we will not use life mode on our body armor, because we got a new mastery, which is giving us 15% maximum life if our body armor doesn't have life mode. So we can use energy shield and evasion rating prefixes on our body armor. This is why you see in a custom mods under the configuration tab. Also for now, till we get the new POB, I allocated a random life mastery to simulate the new mastery. The other big changes for our tree, we got back Mana Reservation Mastery as Mana Mastery. This is why we allocating the Mind Drinker and taking a random mastery to simulate the new mastery that will take this place. This is why you see 12% increased Mana Reservation efficiency of skill line in the custom mods under configuration tab. I just want to highlight a few things on the passive tree. The tree building itself, really straightforward. You only have 2 choices when you start leveling: path left or path right. In the early acts, I suggest to you start pathing towards right side of the tree towards Elemental Focus and Entropy. Take all the life nodes you see here, but skip the Jewel Sockets for now. You will only allocate this when you have no other nodes to take. You will not travel down for the spell suppression, instead you will pathing towards the grow and decay. Ignore the spell suppression node here for now. Take Snowforge and travel to Season of Ice, and travel to Influence and take Arcane Sanctuary. This is for the early level. This should be enough till you get the gem levels. Also, I have a golden rule for leveling. If I lacking damage, I will start taking damage nodes. If I dying, I start taking life node. Simple as that. We're taking Occultist as our Ascendancy, because this is the only Ascendancy in the game that synergizes really well with the Cold skills. The notables in order are the following. In your first lap, take Void Beacon. Really good node early in the leveling process, it will increase our damage, and since 3.18 most of the enemy monsters have high life regen. With this node we will completely nullify their regen. Second lap, we take Frigid Wake. This is what I really like this Ascendancy. You will be freeze and chill immune, so we don't have to rely on the flask uptime, also giving us more cold damage, and we take less damage from the chilled enemies. Third lap, take Wild Bastion for stun immunity, and you will regen energy shield if you killing enemies, up to 10% per second. When you complete Uber lap, take Unholy Authority as your last Ascendancy. This will give us an extra curse, and we can apply curses on hex-proof enemies. Gem and Gem Link, starting with our main link setup. In our body armor, we're using two active skill gems, namely Vortex and Creeping Frost, and our links is the following: Swift Application, Control Distraction, Inspiration, and Hypothermia. In our helmet, really important, we need to socket these gems inside our helmet if you're using Rhymegaze unique helmet. So the links is the following: Bone Chill, Control Distraction, Swift Application, and Wild Cold Snap. Our aura setup in our boots: Malevolence for the damage over time multiplier and increased skill effect duration, Grace for the evasion rating, Clarity for the mana regen, and Determination for the increased armor and more armor for us. Our curse setup in our gloves: Frostbite, Elemental Weakness, Punishment, and Arcanist Brand. We applying these three curses with Arcanist Brand, so we don't have to push free button in the boss fights. Defensive setup in our main hand weapon: Cast when damage taken, Immortal Call, and increased duration. The Immortal Call level 10, cast when damage taken level 8. Otherwise, you will have to take even more damage to proc the cast when damage taken setup. On move and skill setup: Frostblink or Flame Dash. It's up to you what you want to use. Also we linking Arcane Surge to this, but I disabled because Arcane Surge got nerfed and they removed the more spell damage proportion. This is why I disabled to simulate the nerf. Also we were using Frostbomb, and when you get the Eldritch Implicits on your gloves to inflict cold exposure on hit, you can remove this gem. Pantheons we using Major God, Soul of Solaris for the bossing, and when you just doing maps, switch to Soul of Lunaris. Minor God, Soul of Garukan for the reduced shock effect on you. Also when you doing your quest for the bandits, we kill all. I hope you enjoyed this video about Cold Occultist League Starter. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching guys, I was Bridget, and see you next time!